Live from the Crane Room Bar and Grill, it's 3SN Live. Let your voices be heard. Tweet us at 3S Network, like us on Facebook, or comment at 360sportsnetwork.com. And now, here's the hosts of the show, Dotson and the Lab, on 3SN Live.
Welcome to 3SN, everybody. I'm Alex Laverson, and with me is James No Doubt Dotson. We are live here at the Crane Room Bar and Grill in beautiful Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Stop by and get some of the best wings and burgers in town. We have a lot to talk about today. Conference expansion in NCAA, Bill O'Brien rumors, the recent Steelers additions, and is scoring 138 points in a basketball game a bad thing? Dotson, what's up?
Not too much, Alex. Happy early Turkey Day to everybody out there. Hopefully you enjoy lots of football tomorrow, and more importantly, eat lots of food.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's get right into it. I think the biggest thing on everyone's mind is probably this conference expansion. Be honest with you, I'm sick of this. I'm so sick of this. Like, it doesn't make any sense anymore. I was really excited about Pitt getting the ACC, and now that might be crumbling before our own very eyes. It's a domino effect, man. Not even dominoes. It's more like Jenga. Remember that game, Jenga? You pull one out and the rest crumbles.
Yep.
So,
It doesn't crumble all at once. It kind of wobbles a minute. Then you pull one more thing and it wobbles a little more. Then you pull it again and everything comes crashing down. That's what we have right now. It started back when the Big East lost a lot of teams to the ACC back in like the early 2000s. 2004.
Yeah,
right?
Boston College, Miami, Virginia. That was the first time I think we really got big. You know what I mean?
Right, and it died down after that. But you had little things. You had Boise State moving around, trying to get more relevant. TCU, same sort of thing. But the big straws, I mean, you get Big 12 losing teams to the SEC. Big East losing teams all over the place now. West Virginia to the Big 12, Pitt and Syracuse to the ACC, Nebraska going from the Big 12 to the Big 10, and now, maybe the straw that broke the camel's back, Maryland and Rutgers are going to the Big 10. Now, let's start off by saying this move does not mean much for the conference, the Big 10 conference, in terms of strength. I mean, neither team is really very competitive. They are lately. I mean, I've mentioned this in our post. It's available on 360sportsnetwork.com for you to check out. We debated this before. The thing is that Maryland had won basketball national championship in 2002. They made the Final Four in 01 and 02. Other than that, they've been nothing. Rutgers, same sort of thing. A couple of decent football years, but nothing anywhere close to national prominence. So why would the Big Ten go for something like this?
Oh, revenue, TV exposure, financial stuff. Not necessarily competitiveness, but what's college football about? Money.
It is.
So it just expands their footprint. You've got the New Jersey market going on, Maryland now, that whole area.
You hit it right there. The money with the TV exposure that they can get. The Big Ten Network made them so much money, how many years ago? Back in 2007, I think they started it. Made so much money, but it was only in that Midwest. Well, they decided that they got the big markets. I mean, you get Rutgers, you get New York City, essentially. It's New Jersey, yes, but you get New York City. There's no question about that. Maryland is 10 miles from Washington, D.C. You're going to get media exposure in the nation's capital now for the Big Ten Network. And I think that's bigger than getting, a quality team like, I don't know, what's the most quality sport? That's better than getting Alabama, is getting the money of something like Rutgers and Maryland, getting that D.C. and New York area.
Absolutely. And also, I think with Maryland, too, from everything I've been reading, they've been wanting to get out for a while. They've kind of been financially, they've been bad. And they've been losing a lot of money. The Big Ten, like you said, will help them out there. And from the ACC commissioners, the officials, no one's wringing their heads about it. They expected this. I guess they're kind of happy to move on almost, and that's why they're looking to add Louisville and UConn. Now, from a basketball standpoint, both of those schools would be great. You know, Rick Pitino in Louisville is always a contender. UConn just won the championship a few years ago. I think between the two, I'd rather have Louisville only because they're more competitive in football. They usually hang around 12 to 15th ranked. They've been to BCS bowl games. UConn's just dreadful.
But think about it. How long ago was it when they had Donald Brown up there and they were running the doorstep of a BCS game? So, I mean, both those schools, they are good enough in football that they're going to be an absolute dominant team or even a definite contending team every year. But I don't know how many teams there are like that out there anymore. You also got to wonder if they went UConn, if they would go that way after all the talk about possible sanctions maybe happening in the future based on what Jim Calhoun has done with his team up there. I doubt it, but the other thing though, if they go for a basketball school like UConn, someone who isn't as good, notoriously good in football, what happens to the ACC? Is Florida State in trouble?
Well, that's the thing. It's a domino effect, man. Florida State, Clemson, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech. From everything I'm reading, their officials want them to add a football school. They don't want a basketball school. They need to solidify their football competitiveness, and that's why I guess when they lost Maryland, it wasn't a big deal because they're not that big of a deal in football anyway. And that's why they're hoping to add Louisville. So I'm thinking Louisville is the most logical choice. They want to get in, but I don't know if maybe they should even look at other conferences, maybe poach some of their teams.
Well,
they can't add someone like South Florida or Cincinnati. They can't.
No, they can't. But here's the thing. For the Big Ten, they're expanding more eastward like they did 20 years ago now when they added Penn State. A huge addition for them when they did that because you got more in the eastern market. Now you've really tapped it with the two biggest cities on the East Coast, which is absolutely huge for them. I want to bring up something though. Our friends at the Calf Muscle, Zach Tappy, decided to post today. He called it crystal ball gazing, what the NCAA will actually look like in 2016. And he thinks, right along the same lines with you, that we're going to have a Jenga block effect. He thinks that the ACC will fill with a basketball school. He's going to say UConn. He says that there's going to be a lot of jumping away from the Big 12 because of, there's no balance there. The Longhorn Network with Texas is huge. But this is what he sees happening. He sees the Big 10 adding two more teams. Mm-hmm. He sees them adding Boston College, getting another big city in Boston.
This is Big 10.
Big 10. And adding Virginia Tech as well to the Big 10.
This is ridiculous.
He sees the SEC absorbing a good chunk of the ACC, in particular Florida State. Or I'm sorry, that's the SEC, not the ACC. The ACC is where he sees, well, obviously Pitt going there right now, but he sees a lot of the Big 12 teams ended up going there. So you can have the Atlantic Coast Conference having teams like Kansas and Kansas State in it, according to this. Pac-12 taking up the rest of it. He sees Texas going independent like Notre Dame, and I definitely agree with that, but he has four power conferences with 16 teams in each of them. The ACC, the Big 10, or technically the Big 16 now. The Pac-12 becoming the Pac-16, and the SEC having 16. It's a very interesting read. Go to thecalfmuscle.com. I wouldn't be surprised if something like this happens exactly. We said this when everything really started going crazy a year ago, and it's still going, so we're still prognosticating. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this happens. But, that being said, we're not there yet. And I think in the meantime, before we talk too much about the future, we need to talk about the present. Something also that hasn't happened since 1993. The University of Notre Dame.
Well, hey, before you go on there, buddy, I got a few more things to say.
All right, you want to say something? Go ahead.
You don't just do that.
I skipped ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. I read something on Sportsline that said the SEC could go to 20 teams and Pitt could be in it. Could you imagine that? A 20-team SEC with Pittsburgh in it. And I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Parrish from Sportsline was dead serious. He thought it was coming. A 20-team SEC with lowly Pittsburgh in the SEC.
If you have a 20-team conference, first of all, Pitt is not in the Southeast, but then again, we know the geography's dead.
Yeah, at this point.
So they might as well not even teach geography in high school anymore. I mean, based on what the college football is doing. But I mean, if you have a 20-team conference compared to others that are at like 12 and 14 at the most, you can't say that you have a power conference so much better than everybody else. I don't care what you say. Because, yeah, out of those 20 teams, you're probably going to have 3 or 4 that are going to be pretty darn good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, it's like a circus. It's a merry-go-round of college athletics, and
those
this
turkeys,
I have a feeling this is going to be.
Those turkeys.
You know what I think is going to happen? I think Notre Dame might actually back out of the ACC thing. I could see it. I have a bad feeling about it, and that's what everyone I've been reading. If the ACC begins to crumble in terms of like basketball and other things like that,
I don't see them crumbling though. I see them picking up the Big East basketball schools, and I can see the ACC becoming what the Big East is now, with a Georgetown or a Villanova in the ACC as a basketball-only school, everything but football, instead of being with the Big East like they are now, kind of just switching over to the same sort of mindset with the ACC.
It's it's kind of like, why are we even discussing it? Because nothing. This is what we know. The only thing for sure is nothing's for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And whatever we predict now probably won't happen.
As of now, the Big 10 has 14, the Big 12 has 10. And that tells you all you need to know.
They don't even make sense. They need to change their names. But anyway. All right, now we can move forward to Notre Dame.
Can I move on to my Irish?
Yeah.
All right. I've been blasted this week for saying, I keep checking 3SN and I don't see anything about Notre Dame on there. How can you not be talking about it? Well, here you go, Chris. We're talking about the University of Notre Dame. For the first time since 1993, they are ranked number 1 in the country in the AP poll, also obviously the BCS poll. They play USC this week at the Coliseum. If they win, they're going to the national championship game as the number 1 seed. And to make things even easier, Matt Barkley, the USC quarterback, is out this week. What do you think? Can they pull it off, or is USC going to really make Notre Dame fans upset again?
You know what? It could happen. I don't care if there's a freshman quarterback at USC. Every game's important. I'm telling you, this could be it. There could be a major upset. And then we could be back to our SEC national title again. Look, I don't expect USC necessarily to win, but would anyone be really surprised? I mean, their quarterback, I said, we're going to win this ball game. He's confident.
He's very confident for never starting a game.
Also, the thing with Notre Dame, what do? They play to what?
They play to the level of their opponent.
And then they caught a lot of breaks all year. You wonder when those breaks aren't going to go in their favor.
You mean a break like having 2 guys with the same number on the team?
Exactly. So, I mean, if they let lowly Pitt hang with them, they sure as hell can let lowly USC hang with them. And then all it takes is one bad call, one injury, one fumble, one turnover.
Especially when Notre Dame plays such a defensive game that there are close games, which is going to be good when it comes to a bowl game. We give them a lot more chance and a lot more relevance than, say, an Oregon who just blows everybody out of the water and doesn't know how to play in a close game. But that can come back to bite you, because if you play a close game like that, then all of a sudden you're, just like you said, one wrong call, one bad call, one amazing diving, one-handed catch is all it takes, and the game is completely shifted around. So,
Absolutely.
But here's the thing. Let's play hypothetical for a moment. Say Notre Dame does lose. Alabama and Georgia will be playing in the SEC championship game. The winner is expected to go to the title game.
Yeah.
All right. Florida plays Florida State. Florida is number 4 right now in the country. Florida State, 6 in the BCS, or 6 overall in the AP, and like 7 or 8 in the BCS, something like that. Florida State, at least I think, is going to blow Florida out of the water, because Florida has not impressed me and they haven't played anyway. But, say Florida wins, we have an SEC title. If Florida loses, you have probably Oregon right back in there, and you'd probably get with an Alabama versus Oregon yet again, just like we started, and everything will be completely gone.
What a season this would have been, you know what I mean? I really kind of wish Kansas State didn't lose. I really wanted to see like Notre Dame and Kansas State play.
That's what I would have liked to. Here's the thing that really also hurts. It's all about when you lose. Alabama, I don't care if they're SEC or not, the fact that they lost furthest to go is going to give them a little bit of an edge. Again, I hate it, but that's the way it works. Now, Also, Kansas State, not known for having the great team throughout history, also gets a little less benefit of the doubt from the voters than like an Alabama or even Oregon, who's been great the last 4 or 5 years. So it all around, everything just really points towards Alabama, and I don't know that it's all warranted.
Well, no, I agree, but hey, think of it. In a few years, you won't have to worry about this. So.
Yeah, they're talking about that sort of expansion too, but we don't know enough.
I saw
about
something
it yet.
on ESPN that says they agreed to a playoff deal. What's that?
They're still in. We'll talk about that when we come back
I had
from
no
a quick
idea
break
about that.
because they're working on it. I don't think anything's in stone for sure. I mean, put it this way: they know they're going to do it. They're just not entirely sure what it is yet, quite yet. We'll talk about that when we get back live from the Crane Room Bar and Grill. This is 3SN Live.
It's that time of year again, where you try to fill rosters, scooping hot rumors before the other guy in your league can, watching NFL action, more for the players and not so much for the games. Yeah, it's fantasy football time again. With all the analysis and information floating around the internet, who should you trust? Well, look no further than the 360 Sports Network's own Fantasy Football Toolkit. Join me, the Lost Cause, and the Mad Scientist every week as we break down stats, games, player performances, injuries, and a whole lot more. But who wants to wait a week? Get your fill of fantasy football information in my daily segment featured on the 360 Sports Network, the Daily Pigskin Bling. In under 10 minutes, you get fantasy football information, NFL news, injury reports, starts, sits, studs, duds, previews, reviews, and a whole lot more. Basically, everything to help make your fantasy football team sizzle. So check out the Fantasy Football Toolkit and the Pigskin Bling at 360sportsnetwork.com as well as fantasyfootballtoolkit.com. All to make sure that your team isn't a lost cause.
Need a place to go to watch the game? Looking for a great game day atmosphere that hosts great food, great service, and the most variety of craft beer in town? Then come on down to the Crane Room Bar and Grill in Newcastle, where the beer is always cold and the best wings are right here. The specials every night, there's always a good deal waiting for you at the Crane Room. Come out on Mondays for $2 23-ounce domestic drafts from 7 to 9. Tuesdays, burger nights. Enjoy $5 burgers from 7 to 9 p.m. Of course, if pasta's your gig, Wednesday is your night as pasta night goes bonanza. Thursday, it's pound for pound wings all night at $2 domestic drafts from 7 to 9, and mixed drinks are half off every Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. And Saturdays, from 7 to 9, it's $1 off draft beers. And for every Pirates game this year, enjoy a 23-ounce Icy Light for just $2. Whether it's to watch the game, at the bar, enjoy a night out at the outdoor patio, or sit down with your honey for dinner at the restaurant, the Crane Room has everything that you need. So come on down to the Crane Room Bar and Grill. Get your fix on wings, sports, and beer. Just off Route 18 in beautiful, sunny Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
The 360 Sports Network is not a blog. We are a network, a collaboration of websites, blogs, radio stations, restaurants, and more. We are a group created by the fans, for the fans. Whatever the fans feel is newsworthy in the world of sports, we talk about. We believe that everybody is a fan, everyone is an analyst. That's the whole 360 concept. We invite all fans to join the 360 Sports Network by posting on their website directly at 360sportsnetwork.com or by linking their posts to the collaborative network. You can also be a part of the show tonight by tweeting us at 3S Network. Thank you for your interest in the 360 Sports Network. Dotson and DeLav are in the middle of another one right here at 3SN Live.
here live at the Crane Room Bar and Grill on this Thanksgiving Eve. Make sure you eat lots of turkey tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Watch lots of football. All right, right before break, we talked about what's going to be happening with the BCS, with the playoff system that's projected. It is a 14 playoff, but there are essentially 6 major bowls, 3 contract bowls. They are the Champions Bowl, which is between the Big 12 and the SEC, the Rose Bowl, Big 10 Pac-12, and a bowl to be determined still for the ACC, but probably that'll be the Orange Bowl. But there's also going to be the semifinal games, which are going to be on a rotation between 6 different bowl sites, and then a championship bowl, which will be on that championship Monday, a week after New Year's Day, which will be bid out essentially every year, is what it appears to be.
Yeah.
But the one thing I noticed is that the Big East is right now at this point not guaranteed a spot in one of those 6 major bowls. What do you think about that?
Should that be surprising? I mean, look at them.
It shouldn't be, but
Who do they got good in there?
Boise State.
Oh, one team. You know what I mean?
Boise State in the Big West. I mean East.
The East, West,
I mean
North,
the new
South.
Conference USA.
Oh, East? I thought you said West.
All right, Patrick. What kind of compass you looking at, son?
Look, whose fault is this? This is Marinato's fault, right? Former Big East commish. Is he still the Big East commish? I think he's
I
gone.
don't even know. I don't think it's anybody's fault. I think it's that the conference in football, and football's a big moneymaker, they lost a few teams back when. I don't know why. I don't know what all.
Well, those Scoy athletic directors blamed him for not being more proactive in adding teams to the Big East. Which, in a way, because they saw this coming, it was going to die eventually.
See, but how could you add more teams when they have like 6 teams who are active participants, just not always in football?
You can have more football participants.
Football-only participant? I mean, unless you get Notre Dame as a football-only participant, and they're a Big East participant in everything but football. So, I mean, that kind of throws up.
I don't even know if I would have added just the basketball-only schools then. I would have tried to done something else.
I mean, it's not just, I shouldn't say basketball-only, just that their football programs are
so bad,
are so low or so non-existent. Like Villanova, their school is too small to have a football team, but they can perform, and they have had a good basketball team. Georgetown, same way. I don't even think they have a football team, to be honest. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think they do.
Yeah. Well,
so, that makes a big difference, but.
Oh, it does. Look, it's they're done. I'm sorry, they're done. Big East is done, and
smacking the mic out of the way. You're so.
Oh, I'm sorry. See, I'm so angry. I don't even want anyone to hear me yell.
Yeah, that rustling you're hearing, that's Alex.
You know what else I'm angry about is how college basketball has now turned into just a one-man show, right?
It really has turned into a one-man show. For those of you who haven't heard, that there in the white his name is Jack Taylor from Menlyn. Menlyn, am I pronouncing that right? Menlyn College?
I have no idea.
Well, let's put it this way. This kid put up a big number. He put up 138 points in their game last night. Division III school.
But first thought is what? He must be real good, right? Not so fast.
Well, he did get, a lot of support and praise from guys like LeBron and Kobe. I mean, because, honestly, it's impressive to put up 138 points. I will say that for sure. But here's the thing. He took over 100 shots. He went 52 of 108 from the field. He shot 27 of 71 from three-point range.
Oh my, 27 of 71. That's like, you know what this is? It's like playing NCAA basketball on rookie mode. You know?
The final score was 179 to 104. The Grinnell College Pioneers beat the Faith Baptist Bible College.
They sound tough.
Don't they? Alright, here's the thing. You watch some of the highlights. It looks like there's an offensive lineman trying to guard him. Much slower, just worried about the crossover, playing 5 feet back. And he's just lifting up over him every time. Here's the other thing. And I thought this might have just been the game itself, but it sounds like this is what Grinnell College does every game. They, you know how late in the game you foul trying to give up 2 points so that you can get the 3? Right?
Yeah.
They do the same thing. They get into a full court press. If they seal it, great. If they don't, they let them score so they can come back down and try to score 3 on the other end.
Yeah.
How ridiculous is that? They put in freshman bench warmers to foul to put them on the line so they can score more points at the other end, like early in the game. I'm baffled by
They
this.
did all this just to get that
No,
138 points.
this is what they do every game.
So they do this for the same guy?
Not well. All right. They think that they can outscore anybody. They'd rather give up a layup, score 3 on the other end, foul somebody, put them on the free throw line, score 3 at the other end, and try to outscore them. I mean, this Jack Taylor, I guess, plays the point of the press
So
defense.
this is actually a strategy of the team.
This is their team strategy.
All right. Okay. Look. What's the record for the year?
I'll look it up.
If they're undefeated, if
Well-
it works for them,
Here's the thing. This is also a Division III team. This was an exhibition game. I mean, you can talk about sportsmanship, that sort of thing. I'm looking for a record. Here, I can't find it. Oh, yeah, I see record and that they're scoring. I'll get back to you on what their actual record is for the year, but I don't know. All right, put it this way. Last year, 2011, same school, guys set an NCAA D3 record with 89 points in a very similar sort of game.
what was the record? What did you say the record was? Still can't find it.
I can't find their team record. I'm still.
You can't even Google it.
I will. I'm looking for it.
Or not? Hold on, I'll Google it.
But-
Watch me find it in 2 seconds.
All right, you find it. Anyway, while you're looking at that, what kills me with this strategy, like this guy, Jack Taylor, plays like the point of the press. As soon as they get by him, he doesn't even go back on defense. He just stands there and waits. He essentially is cherry picking. They score, they just throw it down the court, and he tries to chuck up a 3. Or he goes and drives to the hoop and gets a layup. It's ridiculous. I hate it. I cannot stand it. The other thing, I mean, they're giving this kid the ball. He shot over 100 times. The rest of the team shot, I think, 30 shots. He also had 0 assists and 3 missed extra points, 3 missed free throws, which a local high school basketball coach said that's what he was most disappointed with. You can make all those shots, but you can't make a free throw. I hate it.
Okay, here's the deal. The 3-0.
They're 3-0.
See how long it took me to find it? 130 to 101. They won their first game. 111 to 100. They won their second game. Third game, 179 to 104.
Here's the other thing. This was supposed to be an exhibition game. Now they're trying to petition it to be a legit NCAA game so that the record will stand.
Well, Wait, say that one more time?
This was an exhibition game.
Oh, was it?
Supposed to be. They're now trying to.
Oh my God.
They're now trying to petition it as a legit game, and not an exhibition game. That way, the record will count. That's what I'm understanding.
There's pathetic. They're pathetic.
It's sad.
This
I mean,
was their record
The fact
last
that
year.
they keep scoring on this team, that they're cherry picking, they're letting them score so that they can try to shoot threes. They're letting this one kid shoot 71 3-pointers in a game, while the rest of the team only shoots 30 shots total. There is so much wrong with this. He had no assists. I can't stand it.
Last year, okay, the 3-0 this year, last year they're 18-5. So I guess in a way the strategy works. But
How many games did they score under 100? I want to find that.
I see 1, 2. Well, you're going way fast.
3, 4,
Basically,
5. I count 5 last
in
year.
the
6.
what?
6. The last one was in their conference tournament.
Okay, so the games they lost were the games they scored under 100.
Essentially.
So you live by that style of play or die by it.
Just like any other team who lives by the 3 and dies by the 3.
Yeah, so I guess it makes sense in a way.
It makes sense to let the team score? I don't know. I have a big problem with all of this. That you have
If
one
it was-
person who
if
just
it's-
stands down there and is trying to just chuck up threes.
If they win a championship that way, if it's successful that way, if it gets the job done, but I don't know if it will, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, let's say they win their Division III NCAA championship this year, winning with that style of play. What else can you do? They won that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If it's exhibition game, I mean, unless they're trying to get the players used to it.
But here's the thing. You're up by like 50, 60 points.
Yeah.
And you still have this guy in there chucking up threes when he's over 100 points on the night.
Yeah.
And you still have this guy who's just getting there. They're passing him the ball, or he's just going and trying to shake and bake somebody and just chucking up threes. If I'm that other coach, I'm just going and rushing all 5 guys at that one player, because that is just sickening. I don't like it. I don't think it's good sportsmanship to be shooting that much, to be when you're up by 50 or 60 points to keep on chucking up threes. I think it's a joke. I think it's terrible.
Yeah.
And especially if it is an exhibition game.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do, I guess? It is what it is.
What's wrong with sports, ladies and gentlemen? Too much. A guy scoring 138 points in one game with the rest of his team scoring about 30 and shooting about 1/4 of the time. That is what's wrong with sports.
Too many things wrong with sports.
Too many things are wrong with sports.
I say we take a break, and when we get back, we talk about the recent Steeler editions.
Yes, there have been lots of them with the injuries going on. We'll talk about the Steelers when we come back here live from the Crane Room. It is pasta night here, so if you want pasta before your turkey tomorrow, come on out for a big bowl of pasta for only $7.99. You also get salad and bread to go along with that. Great deal. Lots of fun. You know it is the biggest bar night of the year, the day before Thanksgiving. So come on out to the Crane Room Bar and Grill. 18 beers on tap for you to go from. Might as well be here all night, child, all 18 at the Crane Room Bar and Grill. When we come back, Steelers talk and lots of other injuries going on around the league. Dotson and D-Lab. We'll be back in a moment.
It's that time of year again where you try to fill rosters, scooping hot rumors before the other guy in your league can, watching NFL action, more for the players and not so much for the games. Yeah, it's fantasy football time again. With all the analysis and information floating around the internet, who should you trust? Well, look no further than the 360 Sports Network's own Fantasy Football Toolkit. Join me, the Lost Cause, and the Mad Scientist every week as we break down stats, games, player performances, injuries, and a whole lot more. But who wants to wait a week? Get your fill of fantasy football information in my daily segment featured on the 360 Sports Network, the Daily Pigskin Blink. In under 10 minutes, you get fantasy football information, NFL news, injury reports, starts, sits, studs, duds, previews, reviews, and a whole lot more. Basically, everything to help make your fantasy football team sizzle. So check out the Fantasy Football Toolkit and the Pigskin Blink at 360sportsnetwork.com as well as fantasyfootballtoolkit.com. All to make sure that your team isn't a lost cause.
Welcome back to 3SN Live, and we want to talk about Stinky Plexico coming back to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think he'd be good if he doesn't ruin the locker room.
That's the thing.
From everything I've heard, he's always been a good teammate. He's just kind of been a bonehead.
He was a little bit selfish when he was young, but that's... I think a couple years in jail is enough to...
I would certainly think he'd be hung.
I would hope so.
Yes.
More ways than we know.
Oh, my God. I don't know. I mean... Do you trust, though, an older wide receiver like that when you have someone who's taller, just as athletic, and just as skilled on the practice squad who's 22, 23?
I know. That's why I don't understand.
Well, how tall is Derek Williams?
6'5". Plaxico's 6'3", 6'4".
I don't know. They must have saw something in Plex that they didn't.
Well, I think
know.
he's proven he can do it versus...
He has.
Experience, I think that's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's the other thing, though. What has he been doing all year? Sitting on a couch? Or has he had something working
Yeah,
out?
you don't need to really do much. When all you have to do is just jump in the edge and then put your hand out. You don't need to really practice.
So you're only going to play him in the red zone? Is that the plan?
From everything I'm reading, that's the sole reason they brought him in.
It's just for the red zone?
That's just for the red zone.
I hope that's the case.
Yeah. Thing is, they need a wide receiver for more than that. They probably don't have a quarterback who's going to throw it to him well enough anyway, I guess.
Obviously, the Cotchery injury really, I think, ignited him.
Yeah.
Right?
Antonio Brown being out.
Brown out. I mean, Sanders is doing well. Mike Wallace drops every other pass.
All they have is literally 2 receivers.
Yeah.
How are they going to line up with only 3 receivers? They're going to have to be in, like, I-form.
I hope they do with a third-string quarterback and the running backs that they
I
have.
don't know that without Roethlisberger it really matters about signing Burris a whole lot. I mean,
That's true.
Yeah, let's just face it. It was not only did we beat the Ravens, we beat the Steelers on Sunday night.
That we
without
did.
Question. So I don't know.
I don't know
We'll
either.
see what happens.
Thank you very much for your insight, sir. Yeah. I mean, we talked about Plaxico in a hurry. I mean, he played pretty well. I mean, he had 8 touchdowns for the Jets last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like he's completely done, but I don't know. It still worries me when he's been out of the league for the first 11 weeks of the year. That's the only issue that I have with that.
I don't think it matters. I don't think we need to be making so much a big fuss about it. It's not like he doesn't need to do much. All he has to do is get in the end zone and jump. That's all you have to do. If he doesn't do it, you know what, sign him to a 1-year contract. He's not coming back at the end of the year. You know what I mean? He might even be gone after a few games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not a big deal either way. It's not a great signing. It's not a bad signing. They're filling a void.
It's a void that I don't think they need to fill. I think they could have easily filled it just as effectively from within. Essentially, they've gotten a name. Now, beyond that, I mean, it is Charlie Batch throwing it to him. They've also signed Brian Hoyer, who's been Tom Brady's backup quarterback for the past 3 or 4 years. So, here's the question I heard posed to me last night. Why do you sign him? Why didn't you sign Dennis Dixon, somebody who worked with the Steelers in the offseason? I think Alex has a good answer on this.
Dennis Dixon told the Steelers he'd rather stay in Baltimore. So that's already off the plate. He did not want to come back.
He did not want to come back here.
So then what else can you do?
No?
I mean, as far as Brian...
Honestly, I mean, that's probably a better fit for him, to be honest.
Yeah. And like, Batch, Hoyer, look, whoever they got back there, if it's not Byron Leftwich, it didn't even be that much better.
That's true.
Yeah,
all right, here's my question. Do you see Wildcat this week? I think you do. I think we see Rainey and the Wildcat a bunch this week.
Yeah, they might have no choice. They honestly might have no choice but to do packages like that. I mean, for Mike Tomlin not to take out Byron Leftwich when he was clearly hurt, like, half of that game. What's that show? They really don't like Batch.
All right, I got to say this. When your star franchise player gets injured with a rib injury that is legitimately life-threatening, a week later, his backup goes in there and ends up with the same injury. Not exactly the same, but a rib injury, just like Ben's dislocated rib, Leftwich gets broken ribs. The fact that they didn't find that, the fact that they didn't go and check it at halftime and x-ray it, that's a little bit bothersome.
Oh, it definitely is. It's extremely bizarre. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. What else can you really do? So, Byron Leftwich is the only guy that can sack himself. I mean, he's like the skinnier version of Fat Albert up there. He's like just clumping in the end zone. He gets in the end zone, he trips on his own feet, and messes up his shoulder or his wrist, whatever that was.
Yeah, it looked like it was his shoulder, but it sounds like it might have been a hit earlier in the play that then he just felt the pain as he went in the end zone and toppled over and may have made it worse. That's kind of what the consensus is at this point, but who knows?
Yeah, look, they're in trouble. They need to beat the Browns.
Can they?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Will they?
I think they probably will. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose, but I think they will. They need to beat Baltimore in a couple weeks. They need to. They're saying Ben might be back in time, actually.
If I were them, I would not at all, period, play Ben Roethlisberger until probably week 15, 16 at best. You make sure that this is good. You need him for the playoffs. You need him not dead.
I think they're afraid. Oh no, I agree. You make sure he's alive, but I mean, I think they're thinking if he doesn't come back soon, they're not going to make it to the playoffs. I think that's the whole point.
They're still, I think, got a game and a half at least edge. I don't know. I mean, it's tough either way to say when's too soon, when's too late. Thing is, I don't think you're going to catch the Ravens anyway at this point. Why are you going to risk him getting hurt against the toughest hitting team in the league and the toughest hitting game of the year?
Yeah.
I mean, I protect him for that reason. This is your franchise player. You need him for the playoffs. Don't rush him back too soon. As far as I'm concerned, keep him benched. Keep him, get him healthy. I don't. Is that funny of it? No.
I don't know.
As you can see, it is becoming an absolute awesome time here tonight here at the Kramer Barn Grill. Lots of crowds coming in for their pre-Thanksgiving. Who wants to cook the night before Thanksgiving? Come out to the Kramer Barn Grill. Great pasta specials tonight that you can have. And you don't have to worry about cooking 2 huge meals in 2 straight days.
And I don't know if they're going to put the big screen down for the Pitt game, Michigan game. That's going to be a good game.
It's going to be a great game tonight. Let's talk about that real quick. Pitt obviously coming off a very disappointing year. Michigan having some good players back, including Hardaway and Burke. Can Pitt pull off the upset?
I think they can. It's Madison Square Garden. They usually play decent there.
Well, they're there a lot.
Yeah, exactly. They're like it's like the home away from home, although it appears that's not long going to be the case after this season.
That's very true. That's very true.
But, look, they can do it. Will they? I don't know. Oakland, they took Oakland to overtime.
Yeah.
Or whoever.
Oakland took Pitt to overtime,
Yeah,
however you want to say it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And Pitt, they play the level of the competition. That's the thing. They're playing a really good team, they'll hang with them. They're playing a really bad team, they'll hang with them too.
Yeah.
So this is what I think. I think it'll be a very close game. I think Pitt wins tonight. I think Pitt wins by a 3-pointer in overtime. Something like that.
See, here's what I'm seeing so far. A lot of parity and a lot of uncertainty in college basketball this year. We saw Youngstown State beat Georgia. And then Georgia just hung with a top 10 team or a top 15 team last night for a good chunk of the game. So, what are we talking there? Pitt, who goes and has trouble with Oakland, can easily go and match up well and play well tonight against Michigan. Even more, Xavier, a week ago, destroyed by like 25 points, destroyed Butler. Butler then wins a game 2 nights ago on a 3-pointer, and then they just beat number 9, North Carolina, and the game really wasn't even close. The scoreboard got a little close at the end. I think the final delta was 9, but the game was 15 to 20 points for almost the entire game. So, what team shows up on any given night is going to be tough to say.
That's the thing. I don't know enough about Michigan. I don't know enough about basketball. Call it the teams this year in college basketball.
It's early in the year to say anything.
Yeah, I was
It's
just
way
about
too
to say,
early.
not a big enough sample size for me.
There you
know
go.
what I mean? So we'll see. I mean, North Carolina, they lost to Butler.
They lost to Butler, yeah. The number 9 team, they got destroyed. Chaminade beat Texas the other night. So, I mean,
Yeah. See, I don't know. I really couldn't.
it's way
comment
too
on it.
early to tell.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. I mean, Indiana had trouble with the team the other night. So, I think it was Georgetown, who's not supposed to be that great this year, and Indiana struggled with their height. So, any night, anything can happen. I think we do know one thing to wrap up our basketball talk. Penn State, we know what's going to happen with them. They were beating a lowly team by 5 at halftime. Tim Frazier got hurt, out for the second half. They ended up losing by 25. And now Tim Frazier out for the year with a ruptured Achilles. He's getting surgery on it. He will redshirt and play next year. Hopefully, I mean, that's not an injury. It takes 6 to 12 months to recover from that. But Penn State's basketball season just ended.
Well, hey, at least a couple years ago they were able to make the tournament.
They were, and it's impressive.
That was
but
nice. It was nice while it lasted.
It was. I need to hear a prediction, though. Who wins the national championship based on our small sample size so far?
I don't think it'll either be Indiana or Louisville, only because March Madness has been so crazy. When it gets to tournament time, it's like a crapshoot. That's kind of bothers me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, why even play the regular season if March Madness is going to be a crapshoot? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I would probably say, who won last year? That was
Kentucky, and they
Kentucky.
lost everybody, but got new people back who are just as good. They'll be up there.
where do they rank this year?
They started 3rd, I think.
I'll go with them because they're probably the most NBA talent, right? I usually go with the
Probably.
team that has the most NBA talent.
Has a good chance.
Yeah.
Indiana's number 1. They have a chance. I always like Tom Izzo with Michigan State, but they had a tough game last night. But again, any day anybody can win. I liked NC State, but I'm probably going to go with. I did like Louisville. I might have to say Louisville beating Michigan State in the championship. But you're right.
Louisville beating Michigan State in the
In
championship.
the championship game.
I'd like that too, a potential ACC team. So we'll see.
It's you never know. Never know. All right, one last quick break. When we come back, like we always do, and with our fantasy football talk, give you some picks, give you some sleepers, answer some of your start-sit questions. So if you have more, send them to us right now to 360sportsnetwork.com. Tweet us at 3SNetwork. Anything that we can do to make your team better, that's why we're here. That's all we're about. Dots will do live. We'll be back in a moment.
The 360 Sports Network is not a blog. We are a network, a collaboration of websites, blogs, radio stations, restaurants, and more. We are a group created by the fans, for the fans. Whatever the fans feel is newsworthy in the world of sports, we talk about. We We believe that everybody is a fan, everyone is an analyst. That's the whole 360 concept. We invite all fans to join the 360 Sports Network by posting on their website directly at 360sportsnetwork.com or by linking their posts to the collaborative network. You can also be a part of the show tonight by tweeting us at 3S Network. Thank you for your interest in the 360 Sports Network.
Need a place to go to watch the game? Looking for a great game day atmosphere that hosts great food, great service, and the most variety of craft beer in town? Then come on down to the Crane Room Bar and Grill in Newcastle, where the beer is always cold and the best wings are right here. The specials every night, there's always a good deal waiting for you at the Crane Room. Come out on Mondays for $2 23-ounce domestic drafts from 7 to 9. Tuesdays, burger nights. It's by $5 burgers from 7 to 9 p.m. Of course, if pasta's your gig, Wednesday's your night. As pasta night goes bonanza. Thursday, it's pound-for-pound wings all night at $2 domestic drafts from 7 to 9. And mixed drinks are half off every Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. And Saturdays, from 7 to 9, it's $1 off draft beers. And for every Pirates game this year, enjoy a 23-ounce Icy Light for just $2. Whether it's to watch the game, at the bar, enjoy a night out at the outdoor patio, or sit down with your honey for dinner at the restaurant, the Crane Room has everything that you need. So come on down to the Crane Room Bar and Grill. Get your fix on wings, sports, and beer. Just off Route 18 in beautiful, sunny Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
More fantasy football arguments on 3SN Live.
Welcome back to the Crane Room Bar and Grill. Dotson the Lab here, answering all of your fantasy football questions. So send them to us. Tweet either one of us at 3SNDLab, at 3SN Dot, or tweet the network at 3S Network. With all of your fantasy football questions, we will answer them all in a moment. But first, Alex has some interesting news regarding Penn State football.
All right. Apparently, Bill O'Brien has been telling his agent to keep an eye and to actively pursue NFL head coaching jobs. Is that a disloyal or bad thing? I don't think so. Not necessarily.
Can you blame him? I mean, he entered the program. We were just talking about this. He entered a program that had, when he entered it, there were no sanctions. Then he finds out after getting the job that, 4 years of reduced scholarships, no bowl games, stuff like that. Now his contract got extended because of that. That's another story. But can you blame the guy for maybe wanting to step away from him? I mean,
because
he wasn't here when it happened. He wasn't here when any of that happened. He doesn't have many big ties to the university.
Look. He knew sanctions were coming, right?
Yeah.
Did anyone think these kind of sanctions were going to happen? No. Jeez, not even him.
Stephen A. Smith supposedly did.
He did. And
They should be forbidden from playing football for 15 years. This is ridiculous.
5 years, but anyway.
No, he said more than that.
Oh, he's an idiot. Look, yeah, I mean, come on. I don't think he expected this to happen. I'm sure he loves his kids, loves Penn State, but at the same time, it's hard to say no to an NFL head coaching job. The cities, the money, the glamour.
Here's the thing.
Compared to country state college.
If he's going and looking for a head coaching job, that's one thing. If he's going for an offensive coordinator job...
No, I don't think he'll go for that.
And here's the thing, though. Let me ask you, how many NFL teams would go for Bill O'Brien? I mean, being honest. He's shown his hand as a head coach in college, not the pros, in college, for now 11 games. In those 11 games, he has 4 losses. One of them wasn't his fault, it was the kicker's fault. He got outcoached in the Ohio game, I should say. Well outcoached in the Ohio State game, which is tough for me to say because I'm not a huge Urban Meyer fan, don't think he really does that much. And the Nebraska game, you blew a huge lead and got outscored 28-6 in the second half. So, again, it's not too much to be able to look at, a very small picture you're looking at here, but he really has not been the greatest head coach in terms of having a team ready to win. Now, the off-the-field stuff is completely different. He's kept that team together better than anybody could ever imagine, but is that a good quality to have in an NFL football head coach? I'm not sure.
Look, I think there will be some owners out there who are just so stupid. Look, I could see maybe who's the owner for the Raiders? The other Davis guy?
Yeah,
his son, right?
Son Davis, I believe.
Yeah, that whole organization hires back coaches. I mean, I think it's possible they could look at him. I think the Eagles are possible. They might look into him. You know what I mean? Oh, jeez.
I don't see it happening just because he's not been a head coach long enough.
Maybe not yet. Yeah, maybe a year or two, and then he's like doing 8 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins. You know what I mean?
And at that point, then,
look what he did to Matt McGloin.
At that point, he's also more in with the university. He's gotten to love the university as long as he doesn't pull a Todd Graham, which is possible. I will say that. He could absolutely hate it there.
Well, this is what I think. I think it's possible. I think there's too much smoke for it not to be a possibility. You know what I mean? I think that would be the one thing, like you said. Would he really get the offer? I don't know. I honestly don't know. So we'll see. I mean, the only thing I would say, don't be surprised if it happens.
I hear you.
Hey, then who do they bring back? Tommy Boy Bradley.
It's not going to happen unless they exonerate everybody.
Even then.
Not even him. Just like the entire thing happening.
Yeah.
It's guilt by association. You've said that many times before. All right. 10 minutes ago, time to give you some fantasy football discussions. Let me ask you, we had Case Closed 31 tweet into us today. He said, who do I start at quarterback? Tony Romo, who's playing Washington tomorrow, or Andy Dalton, who is playing the Oakland Raiders, also a bad defense.
Yeah. So wait, Andy Dalton or who?
Andy Dalton, Tony Romo.
Okay. Dalton's playing the Raiders, right?
Yeah, let me confirm that.
Okay,
it's a bad defense either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dalton plays the Raiders. Dallas plays Washington.
I really haven't looked. I'd probably go with who's been doing more for me lately. I'm looking at it now.
All right. Here's my take on it at this point. I know I threw you for a loop on that question. The way I look at it, we have big issues with scoring touchdowns in Dallas. Andy Dalton, complete opposite. He'll score touchdowns but won't get many yards. I think that because Washington's pass defense is so bad versus their run, where Oakland's is bad in both.
Yeah, you're better off answering this question than
they
me.
might run it more.
Yeah.
And I'll take my chance with Romo this week and say Dalton will hang on to you. But hang on to you because I like what Dalton does. Also, again, know your scoring system. If you have yards, it's definitely Romo. If it's more touchdowns, without a doubt, you got to go Andy Dalton. Here's the next question. Matt Stafford hosting the Houston Texans tomorrow, or do you go with Andrew Luck hosting the hapless Buffalo Bills?
Oh, Luck, by far. The Bills' defense is so bad, Dodson. They are so bad. Wannstedt has been had a terrible job this year.
Here's the thing, though. Buffalo's pass defense isn't too bad.
No, look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Look, a lot of times when teams go against the Bills, little short screen passes, the running back runs it for 70-yard touchdown. They're so bad. Okay, look, I'm telling you, you take that defense, or you take Luck against a defense. Every time. I would always pick, this year I'd always pick up players against the Bills defense, and I never been disappointed. You go with Andrew Luck.
Let me ask you this, though. Houston gave up 500 passing yards to a backup quarterback last week. How do you explain that then and try to say you don't start Stafford? On the biggest game of the year, they're finally on primetime TV.
Well, I would... Either way, it'd be a good pick, but do you really expect the Texans to do that again?
With Stafford out there? I don't know. I'd take my chances.
That's a good one.
I would take my chances on Stafford.
Really?
I think I would. And again, I mean, if you need just a few points to solidify a win, Luck's the safer play. But if you need the home run, you definitely go.
Yeah, I'd do that too. Yeah, it's actually a very good idea. good observation.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many variables
Yeah.
when people say, you know, who do I start and who do I sit. It's so different. I mean, and even that, somebody last week said, who do I start? In a PPR league, Andre Roberts, who averages 6 or 7 catches a game, or T.Y. Hilton, who gets maybe 2 or 3 catches, but he just hopes that one of them goes for 70 yards and a touchdown. Wouldn't you know, Andre Roberts had 1 catch, T.Y. Hilton went and had 7 for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Even when you think you have it planned out based on, he said he only needed a few points, go with the safe bet, go with Andre Roberts. Well, that didn't happen. So, a couple other things we want to look at possibly as we're bringing down the big screen here for some fun night. Again, Crane Room Bar and Grill, place to be. We got remarkable entertainment coming at us tonight from Walzer Entertainment. Live DJ to play all your songs while you're doing everything. Also, there are tickets on sale for Super Brew 3. Oh, 3 was last year. See, I can't count. Super Brew 4, which is the local beer tasting local breweries come out. It is the week between the championships and the Super Bowl. It is on January 26th this year. Great cause. All money goes towards Relay for Life and Cancer. Definitely come out. Tickets are on sale tonight. Just come see the DJ and request a song while you're at it. Back to the fantasy talk. Some fantasy sleepers to look at this week. Anybody from Jacksonville, the way Henny played last week, I think Cecil Shorts, Justin Blackman are definitely good plays. Running back, with McGahee hurt, how do you like Ronnie Hillman this week? Playing Kansas City. I mean, what do you think? Or are you just going to go tongue-tied on me?
Ronnie Hillman or who?
Ronnie Hillman playing Kansas City for Denver. I mean, with McGahee out. Do you think that's a good guy to go after?
Yeah, probably. I mean, anytime here's the thing, he's also out for the rest of the year, so that might be a good pickup just for the remainder of the season.
Honestly, this week...
McGee's on IR, I think.
Yeah, he is now. They just announced that this morning. There are so many guys out there that you can go for. I like Marcel Reese. He had 190 total yards last week. What do you think about Julian Edelman? The fact that he had 58 receiving yards, 47 rushing yards, he had a 68 punt return touchdown.
Who's he remind you of?
Wes Welker. A young Wes
Pick him up. Pick him up. Look,
especially
he's the new
Wes.
He's the new Wes.
He's
Walker's
better than
gone.
Welker.
Yeah.
He's better than Welker ever was.
Walker's gone after the year by far. You know that's happening.
Here's the best stat though. I mean,
you really think so?
I just said it.
Whoa. You think in general?
He's better than Wes Welker was in his prime. No doubt in my mind. But here's what I look at. Julian Edelman last week, 58 receiving yards, 47 rushing yards. He had a 68-yard punt return for a touchdown. He had over 100 yards in kickoff returns. And he had 2 total touchdowns. You know what stat out of all those impresses me the most? None of them. He was on the field for 52 out of the team's 61 snaps. That's the stat that I love. He's on the field. Brandon Lloyd's gone. He's not getting anything. Deion Branch, he's not on the field. It is the Julian Edelman show. And now with Gronkowski out too, they're going to have to look at him even more. Honestly, especially if you're in a league where you get points for punt and kick returns and stuff.
Yeah.
Go for him. Big time. Without a doubt. Wanted to mention Colin Kaepernick if there's a quarterback controversy there.
Yeah.
In a word, is there?
Look, at first I was kind of like, let's ride the hot hand with Kappa. I'm hearing a lot of people, Alex Smith is your guy. What happens if Kappa was just a one-time thing? What happens if he goes down?
What if he's not? What if he's the next best thing?
Well, that's the thing. It's kind of, you know what I would just do? I would start Kaepernick the next few games and just tell the media, whoever, it's because Alex Smith has concussions. Besides, you don't want to start Alex Smith if he has even a little bit of concussions.
Let him get healthy,
and
because
Alex
he
Smith,
probably is a guy.
Yeah, and Alex Smith should know that if you have a concussion, you're not playing. You don't have to make it personal.
But the people out there who are saying that Alex Smith has been your quarterback, he's been all right for you. He's been more than all right. But here's my argument against that. If you start the veteran because he's been good and solid for you all these years, you know what you would have? You would not have a Ben Roethlisberger because Tommy Maddox would have gotten his job back. You would not have a Tom Brady because Drew Bledsoe would have gotten his job back. So don't give me that garbage about
what you can do is, even if you decide to go with Smith, still use Kaepernick a lot in packages. You know what I mean?
He's so good. You can do exactly that. All right. Last thing to do tonight.
Ultimate team. Well, I gotta do that.
We'll save the ultimate team. We'll post them
Should we just do that another night?
We'll do that. We'll post them. We won't get your teams in there tonight, but we will post them online for you to see. Alex is still in the lead by a lot. We'll just
because I'm amazing.
3 games tomorrow on Turkey Day. Start with the noon kickoff. Texans at the Lions. Who wins?
Texans.
I'm going to go with an upset. I think
Really?
the Lions win because the Texans did not play well last week at all. Redskins at Cowboys.
Well, Redskins.
I'm going to go to the home team again. The perennial power in the Cowboys. They're going to get above 500. They're going to throw all over Washington's defense, and I really think Romo has a good game, and I don't think Griffin will play well against the linebackers in Dallas.
Yeah.
Then the nightcap, Patriots at the Jets.
Patriots. I think it's going to be bad.
I think it's going to be too.
Look,
I mean, the Jets kept it close the first time.
Look,
they
the
kept it close.
Jets have a pretty favorable schedule the last part of the year. The last 5 games, they have like all under 500 teams. But then again, the Jets are under 500.
They need to win this game to have any chance at that.
Now, does Rex Ryan get fired after this year if he doesn't make the playoffs?
Rex Ryan, Norv Turner, and Andy Reid are all gone.
How
Carolina's
long
coach
was Rex
probably
Ryan been there? Did he get there in 2009?
I think so.
2009,
2008. Maybe 2008.
They might give him one more year, I think.
I don't know.
They
After the way everything's been handled this year, I think Rex Ryan's gone, Norv Turner is gone, Carolina's coach is gone, Andy Reid is gone. No doubt, they're all gone, and that's why you have Bill O'Brien talking to the NFL.
Yep.
That's how it is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that about wraps it up here from 360 Sports Network live at the Crane Room. Again, if you're in the area, stop on by. 18 beers on tap for the biggest bar night of the year. There's no better place to be. Pasta night, live DJ about to go on as soon as we go off, and it looks like we got music videos about to play on the big screen. We have the pick game to come and watch. Everything you could want would be here, and of course, tickets for Super Brew 4, January 26th. Great cause. Please come out, check it all out. Any final parting shots from you, Alex?
Oh jeez. Keep an eye on this college football expansion. I can't get enough of it, to be honest. I hate it, but I'm so fascinated by it.
It's something you love to hate.
So, I love to hate it, and I think we're going to see a lot of wild cards come in to play. You'll see something. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Peter Syracuse pulls a TCU and goes to another conference. I wouldn't, at this stage of conference
Nothing
expansion.
will surprise me at all in any direction.
Absolutely. But that about does it, I think.
That about does it. For Alex Laverson, I'm James Dodson, live at the Crane Room Bar and Grill. You have a pleasant evening and a happy Thanksgiving. Eat plenty and plenty of turkey and enjoy the games. Good night, everyone.
Good night.